Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. By the title, you already know what type of video this is going to be. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to get straight to the point and straight to the story. So let's go. The day before I went into labor, I was tossing and turning all night. Like I couldn't sleep. Like I was having contractions. Every time I had a contraction, I would get up because they're uncomfortable. It's basically just like, it's like cramps. It's like sharp pains in your stomach. That's what was going on. So I didn't get sleep at all. Every time I had a contraction, I just woke right back up. At that time, I wasn't timing the contractions, so I don't know how far apart they were. I do know that they were really far apart. When Sed got up and I'm just up, the contractions had not stopped. They were progressing. So I let him know, I was up all night. I'm still having contractions. And then I was constantly going to the bathroom. And each time I went to the bathroom, I seen blood. Throughout the day, the blood just got darker and darker. So from the morning to like the afternoon, like when we seen that the blood got darker, he's like, okay, let's call your doctor. Let's see what they think. Like you may be about to have this baby. So I'm like, okay. So I called my doctor and they were on lunch. So I couldn't get through to anybody. So I left a message and then I called like their emergency hotline and they told me that they would try to contact my doctor and then have them call me back. I didn't hear from anybody. Then Sed was like, okay, just go. Like we're just gonna go because we can't sit and wait for them to call and we haven't talked to anybody. So at that time, I did start timing my contractions. So before I went to the hospital the first time, my contractions were about 10 minutes apart. So every 10 minutes I had a contraction. So I went to the hospital and when I got there, they checked me and they were saying, the blood doesn't look like anything that deep. Like you look fine, everything seems fine. They said they didn't see a reason to keep me. So I was like, okay. As I was in the hospital, that first time that I went, my contractions started to increase. I felt like, because I was there for about an hour, and I felt like the pain level had gotten worse. So I went home, and really I was starving. Like I didn't eat all day. I was so hungry, but I still didn't eat anything. So I went and I laid down and I tried to get some rest because I'm so tired. I was like so tired and so hungry. So I'm like, I'm so tired. Let me just try to get some sleep because if I do have this baby today, I don't want to be extremely tired trying to push the baby out because I know like it takes a lot of energy to try to push a baby out. So I was like, let me try to get some rest because I don't want to be extremely tired. And I've heard stories like of people who fell asleep when they were trying to push their baby out, like all types of crazy stuff. So I'm like, I don't want anything to go wrong. So let me try to get some rest. So I tried to get some rest and that didn't happen. The contractions had gotten worse and they got closer in time. So my first doctor visit early in the day, they were 10 minutes apart. So then I started timing them again and they got to 4 minutes apart. So I called my doctor. Actually, I called my doctor's office, but my doctor wasn't available and they had another doctor who called me back, which is the same doctor that delivered the baby. He called me and he asked me, how far apart are your contractions? At that point, I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. I'm just sitting here, but the pain level had gotten worse. So I was like, I know that the pain level has gotten worse, and that there's more blood. I'm like, I feel like something is wrong because there's no reason why I should be bleeding like this, and the contractions are worse. Like these are not Braxton Hicks contractions. Like this is something else. So he was like, okay, well, time the contractions. He was like, when your contractions, I don't remember, did he tell me 3 minutes or 2? No, he said 5 minutes. I think he said 5 minutes. when your contractions are like 5 minutes apart, then, you know, give me a call back or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the number he said. I just knew that my number was greater than the number that he said. So I ended up starting to time the contractions after I got off the phone with him. And I timed them for maybe like another hour, and I noticed that they were 4 minutes apart. And I'm like, okay, whatever number he said was higher than my number. So I was like, it's time for us to go. Like, we gotta go. It's about to go down. So we hop in the car, you know, we already had our bags and stuff packed, so we just hopped in the car and went to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, you guys know that my first visit in a day, I was only 2 centimeters and some change. I was close to 3. So when I got there, when I went to the hospital the second time that day, I was 5 centimeters. Like, what? That's crazy. And you have to be 10 centimeters to actually push a baby out. So I was 5 centimeters. So when they told me that, I was just like completely in shock. I'm like, what? I'm 5 centimeters? Like, this is crazy. And for me, like, I was so proud of myself because I felt like, you know, I'm 5 centimeters and I'm not like, it wasn't excruciating pain. You know, it was tolerable. I just kept using my breathing techniques, and I was cool. Like, I was completely calm the entire time. When the contractions came is when I started to breathe so that, you know, I could take the pain. So at that point, guys, I was literally dilating every hour. Every hour I would dilate higher. So when I first got there, I was 5 centimeters. The next hour, I was 16 centimeters. Next hour after that, I was 7 centimeters. The next hour after that, I was 8 centimeters. Then the next hour after that, I was 9 centimeters. But let me tell you the crazy part about it is that I was dilating, and every hour I was dilating like another centimeter. But when I got to 9 centimeters, I was only at 9 centimeters for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I went straight to 10 centimeters. Like, it was that quick. Now let me tell you about my pain. I felt like I could take all of it. Like, the pain was not excruciating pain. It wasn't crying pain. It wasn't it wasn't something that I couldn't handle. I didn't feel any pain in my stomach. I felt everything in my back. Like, everything in my back and my butt was the only thing that was hurting, and it just felt like it was just a lot of pressure, like a whole lot of pressure. Which is why I kept using my breathing technique. So I would definitely highly suggest, you know, whoever, any expecting mothers, if you're going into labor, to definitely breathe. Like, use your breathing techniques, because that's what got me through it. I would say that when I got to 9 centimeters, I was like, yeah, like, I'm ready to go. I was like, y'all, he is ready. Like, I'm ready to push. So we called the nurses in, and I'm like, I think it's time. Like, I think it's time for me to push. And she was like, okay, let me check you. And she was like, oh my God, you're 9 centimeters. So at that point, my water did not break. So they had to go up and they had to break my water. So then they broke my water, and they were like, oh my God, you're 10 centimeters. So at that point, I'm like, y'all, I'm ready. I got frustrated because I'm like, I'm so ready to push. And they were like, no, you can't push. We have to wait till the doctor get in here. And I got, like, if you watch the labor and delivery vlog, you'll see, like, when they're breaking my water, I'm just like, And it's not that I'm in pain. It's the fact that I was frustrated, and I felt like I was, like my butt was gonna explode. Like, that's how it felt. I felt like my ass was going to explode. I was like, it feels like you have to poop so bad, but you can't, because they're telling you you can't push. So basically, you gotta poop really bad, and you're holding it in, and you can't let it out. That's the feeling of labor. Well, that was the feeling for me. It was like, yo, I got a shit so bad, but they won't let you. It's like you can't poop, like they won't let you. So I got frustrated, and I just kept having to talk to myself in my head, like, Nadir, it's okay, calm down, it's gonna be all right. Because I wanted to let him out. Like when I got to 10 centimeters, I knew I was at 10 centimeters. Like I felt it. I felt like my butt was going to explode everywhere. That was the feeling. There was no other feeling. Like I didn't have any, like it wasn't painful in my stomach. Everything was in my back and my butt. All of everything. I just felt everything in my back and my butt. That was it. So yeah. I got to 10 centimeters. By 9 centimeters, they were breaking the water, which is crazy because I throughout the entire experience, I was wondering, like, oh my God, where am I going to be when my water breaks? Like, am I going to be out and it just breaks? And then, I don't know, what if I have sweatpants on and everybody can see and it looks like I just pee myself? Like, I was wondering what's going to happen when my water breaks, but I never got to experience that. My water never broke. They had to break it for me, which kind of, I mean, it doesn't suck, but I really did want to experience the water breaking on its own, but it didn't. I don't know why. So yeah, got to 9 centimeters. They broke my water. By 10 centimeters, I was pushing. Now let me tell you guys about the pushing. First of all, I felt like I could have got my baby out sooner if I knew how to push. Now this is my first child. This is my first time pushing a baby out of me. I didn't know how to push. So, I feel like if I knew how to push, I would have got my baby out sooner. So the first couple times, as you guys can see on the video, when I was pushing, when they were telling me to push, I was like I was doing the same breathing techniques that I had with my cramping, I was using to push. And the doctor had to tell me, okay, no, this is not going to work. You're not going to get the baby out if you keep going like this. Like, you can't do that. You have to hold your breath. You have to hold your breath. And it's going to feel like you can't breathe. Like, it's going to feel like, oh my God, I have no more breath to give. But you have to hold it. And they're going to count for 10 seconds. And then you stop. And then you do it again. And basically you push every time you have a contraction. Now for me, in my head, it was like I didn't even feel the contractions. Like I thought that, like when I first, like before I even went into labor, I'm like, how am I gonna push this baby out and have a contraction at the same time? Like these contractions hurt. And y'all want me to push a baby out at the same time? So I didn't think that I would be able to do it. But honestly, when my mind went straight to get the baby out, like it's time for him to come out. My ass is on fire. Like I'm ready for him to come out. So it, like I wasn't even thinking about the contractions. Like the contractions didn't even hurt anymore. It was, my mind was just get the baby out, get the baby out, get the baby out. So that's all I was focused on. I don't even remember feeling contractions. So basically, yeah. You have to hold your breath. So when you're pushing, go, hold your breath. You have to hold your breath and you have to bear down and you have to push like you are pooping. So that's what I did. So I pushed for about 10 to 15 minutes and he was out. I feel like I could have pushed for about 5 to 10 minutes if I knew how to push. But the first couple tries, I didn't know what I was doing and they had to tell me, this is wrong. You're not going to get the baby out if you are breathing like, no, you have to go and then release. So that is just some advice for anyone out there who's about to have a baby. Make sure you are holding your breath when you are trying to push that baby out and you are pushing from your butt, like pushing like you have to poop. That's how I got him out, by pushing like I had to poop. And I also was holding my legs, so I was like, it was, and then another thing is, when they tell you to hold your legs, like hold your legs and push that baby out. Because at first I felt like I was holding my legs like really loosely. No, You gotta grab them babies and you have to pull them and you gotta push them out. What's another thing? Oh, how did it feel pushing the baby out? Y'all know I didn't have no epidural, and I highly recommend any woman out there who is, you know, about to have a baby, just do it natural. I mean, you guys seen that I handle it really well. I felt like it's just mind over matter. Everything is mind over matter. I spoke nothing but positivity in my pregnancy, period. Like, I feel like I had an amazing journey. Like, I am extremely blessed. Like, I had no complications. Like, throughout my pregnancy, I wasn't craving anything. I wasn't throwing up. Like, I wasn't in horrible pain. Like, I just literally, it was like the most humbling, beautiful experience that I ever had in my life. It's so surreal to me because I hear nothing but horror stories. And for me to just have this like blissful experience, I just feel extremely blessed. Whatever you speak, think, and seek is what you will attract into your life, into your universe. That's what you're going to attract. So if you're constantly thinking negative, speaking negative, you're going to get nothing but negativity out of whatever situation that you're in. For me, everything was mind over matter. That's the way I live my life. So I spoke nothing but positivity. I thought nothing but positivity. Everything was extremely positive. That's all I put out into the universe, and that's exactly what the universe gave back to me, was nothing but positivity. And I feel like that's the reason why my experience was so blissful and beautiful. And just everything, it was like the most rewarding and peaceful and humbling experience in my life. And it's crazy because people rave about it like it's the worst thing, but it's like, what are you speaking? What are you thinking? Like, if you're putting negative vibes out there, then that's exactly what you're gonna get back. So, you know, my entire pregnancy was just beautiful. And then I got into the labor and delivery part, and it was beautiful. So, me, as you guys seen the video of me just pushing the baby out. Like I said, it was mind over matter. So all I wanted to do was get the baby out and get him out safely. So that's what my mind was on. Like, I had to go in, and I went in with my A game. I went in like, it's go time. So let's get him out. So I was extremely calm, you know, and, you know, relaxed when it was time to push him out. So, you know, I just breathe, and I'm just like, let's get him out, let's get him out. So I was trying to get him out. How did I feel when the baby actually came out? Did it hurt? It happened so fast, I didn't feel a thing. Like, it was not painful when it came out at all, which is extremely weird. Like, it just wasn't painful. Like, I don't know, but I didn't feel any pain. What I can tell you is that I did feel a tear. Like, I felt me open up, but that still wasn't painful because it happened so fast. I didn't feel it. It's like I felt it, but there was no time for it to hurt. Like, it didn't hurt. I felt it, and then it was just like, that was it, and it was so quick. Right after I felt the tear, I felt a burning sensation, and again, that happened within seconds, and that was quick. So it burned for like a quick second, and as it burned, that's when he was coming out. And he was out, and then it was like, bam, it's over. Now let me get to the nitty-gritty part. So with pushing him out, it was a quick tear burn. That was it. After that, it was peaches and cream. Like, and even that, the tear and the burn didn't hurt because it happened so quick, and it was back to back. So that was just the feeling that I felt when pushing my baby out with no medication. I would say the worst part about labor, y'all, they did not tell me, okay? I was so confused of what was going on, like, and I wish that the cameras were on so I could show you guys, but they had turned the cameras off after the baby came out, so I couldn't even show y'all like what happened afterwards, but this was literally the worst thing I've ever felt. It was horrible, and I was confused because I'm like, I didn't know it was a part of labor. So after I pushed the baby out and they placed him on my chest and they cut the cord and all this other stuff, I would say at least like 5 to like 10 minutes maybe had went by. And I don't really know, don't quote me on that, because I don't really know if it was that long. Like, I just knew it was like some time before this took place. So next thing I know, oh, let me tell you guys that when the baby came out, like, I felt the burning sensation and then he was out, but it didn't, in my stomach, it didn't feel like he was out. Like, I still felt like he was in there. But when they pulled that placenta out, that's when I felt a relief. Like, I felt like there was nothing in my stomach anymore. Like, it was gone, which is really, I don't know, that's weird, but that's what I felt. So, what happened? The time had went by, and next thing I know, I got about 4 or 5 doctors pushing on my stomach with their hands like this, pushing, like, say this is my stomach, so they're like this on my stomach. So I'm screaming, like literally screaming to the top of my lungs. It hurt so bad, and I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why are y'all pushing on my stomach? What are y'all doing? I'm like, they're trying to kill me. I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, we have to get all of the blood out. We don't want you to have any blood clots. We don't want this, we don't want that. So we got to get it out. We got to get it out. I was about to be in tears. It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad, okay? Now, for those that want to know, did my vagina tear? Yes, it did. But it was not, I didn't even tear an inch. It didn't even tear half an inch. The tear was so tiny. They weren't even going to give me stitches because they said, you know, it could heal on its own. It's cosmetic. It can heal on its own. It's like super tiny. But the doctor was like, no, we want to be on the safe side. Just like stitch it up. Did I feel the stitches? They told me that I wasn't going to feel the stitches and that they were going to numb me down there. Y'all, I felt the stitches. I felt the needle go in. I felt them pull the string and loop it back in again. Like, I felt it all. Okay? It wasn't like painful, but it was just uncomfortable. That's what I would say. It was very uncomfortable. Especially, I just had a whole baby and y'all are down there messing with my vagina. So it was very uncomfortable, but it wasn't crying pain. What was crying pain is the after labor and them pushing on my stomach. They pushed on my stomach for at least 10 minutes. I wanted to cry so bad, but I didn't. But it hurt so bad. I felt like that was labor, because labor did not hurt me. Like, I wasn't in pain from the labor at all. Them pushing on my stomach is what was hurting me. That was like excruciating pain. Like, it was crying pain. It was horrible. So that's one thing I would say that I did not know went down after you had a baby. Like, after I had my baby, he's in my arms, I'm just chilling. I thought I was done. I'm like, okay, we're done, let's go. They're like, oh no, we gotta do this before you leave. And I'm like, what? What you gotta do? Why are y'all pushing on me? I was confused. But yeah, so any expecting mothers out there, be ready for the after labor, because it was horrible. If you think labor hurts, wait until the after labor. That is what's gonna hurt you, because labor for me was a piece of cake. I ain't feel a thing, okay? Now, okay, I know you guys want to know, like, if my body, like, how my body was healing and if I was hurting after labor. I I did not, like I said, did my stomach only hurt when they were pushing on it. Other than that, my stomach did not hurt at all. I told you guys when I was pushing, I felt everything in my back and my butt. So until now, my back still hurts. Like, it hurts. It doesn't hurt as bad as it did when I got out of labor, but it still hurts. I just have to keep getting massages because it's very tense. My butt doesn't hurt anymore. The tear that I have is like super small. So the first day, like the day after labor, when I went and peed, it burned like hell, okay? It burned so bad. So I let them know that it was burning, and they gave me some type of ointment to put down there to like numb it and like heal, let it heal faster. I don't remember what it was called, but I still use it. Yeah, so I used that, and within the 3rd or 4th day, no, I would say that's like when I used it, that next day it didn't burn anymore. So I'm not dealing with that anymore. Alright, I think that wraps up this video. Those are just like my personal feelings of how I felt, you know, with the labor process. I hope I didn't leave out anything. If I did, let's make this a Q&A. Let's make my next video a Q&A. So leave questions below that I did not, whatever I didn't answer or whatever you're curious about and you want to know, leave questions below, and my next video I'll do a Q&A and I'll answer basically all the questions that you guys asked in the comments. So yeah. Oh yeah. And how can I end this video without thanking everybody? I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Like, oh my God, I don't want to cry. But, okay, let's not cry. There we go. I got fresh makeup on, I can't cry. But I'm like seriously so overwhelmed with all the love and support that you guys have shown me throughout this entire experience. You guys have made it so great for me with all the positive comments and vibes you guys have been sending my way, all the advice. For me as a first-time mother, I definitely took everything into initiative. So I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for following me throughout this journey and helping me through it. I am so thankful. Like, I really am thankful and blessed to have you guys. And you know, that was my pregnancy journey that you guys were with me, but the journey is not over because the baby is here, which means the YouTube about to be lit. Y'all about to see, you know, a bunch of family vlogs and a bunch of videos with me and my baby. Like, a new journey has begun. So don't think it's over. Don't think, oh my God, let's give her time to heal. Like, no, it's go time. I love doing this. So I'm going to constantly be updating you guys on, you know, our life and what we're doing and our family, and definitely, you know, more vlogs, more everything, just more, because it's a new journey. Like, it's not over. So thank you so much for following me through the pregnancy journey, but now you have to follow me through a new journey. But yes, thank you guys so much again. I love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to leave your comments below. If you have any questions, that whatever I didn't cover, make sure you comment, and I'll definitely do a Q&A on my next video and answer all of your questions. So I'll see you guys in my next video.